Hi crafters, and welcome to Finish It Friday episode 180. So here's where we left off on Wednesday. So we have our base card, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then we have our piece of cardstock that is 3 by 4. We have two strips that are 1/4 of an inch by 4 3/4, and then we have two that are 1/4 of an inch by 4. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, since I'm going to have my stripes go in this direction, I'm going to go like this to have my background go in the opposite direction. Now I'm hoping, let me see, I might have to grab out one of these just so this card doesn't slide around. But then I need to get the bigger one. Let me get the bigger one, sorry. Let me get the bigger one here. But I'm still going to have it lined up here so I can use some guidelines. All right, so since I'm going to have the stripes go this way, I'm going to have these go this way. And as you can see, I'm kind of using this bottom line here to kind of keep track where I want it. Now I'm hoping that these are going to hold. You never know with this poster tape. So let me go here on that line. You're going to end up using a lot. If you have like strips, you can also use those. We just want to make sure we have enough that we are covering up most of the area. So now here, I'm going to go here on this line. I'm going to use these lines up here now to kind of straighten my tape. And I'm going to go 3 this way. Go like this so I make sure it's somewhat straight. And one last one. And I'm hoping that one's somewhat straight. Because I want it to come, I'm going to make it a longer piece here. All right, so there we have that. And I'm hoping these stay on well. We'll see. So let me go ahead and grab out my pink blending brush. I'm going to get Bubble Bath, which is a light pink. And I'm going to start blending a background here. Now you notice I am holding the card as well because I don't want it to move even though I have that tape down. Let's get a little more of that on here just so we have that background. And I'm going to go a little bit harder around these tapes again, just so I have some good lines. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off And I'm going to put these over what I've just colored. Now this, you do want it to stay down somewhat, but if it doesn't, it's not going to be as big of a deal as what we did before, because your ink is still going to be a little wet there, so it may not want to stay down. Let me go ahead. Go ahead and we'll take one there. That'll kind of help keep it down a little bit. This usually isn't this hard. All right. You know what I think I do need? Here, let me go ahead. Let me put this down here. And let's put a block down to kind of hold those in place. How about that? All right, that'll work, and we'll grab out a couple more for over here. And it's only because you do have that ink that is still wet. It hasn't yet really soaked into the paper. We all know that things dry lighter eventually, and that's because your color is eventually soaking, I'll say soaking, into the cardstock. So let's go ahead and do this one. Let's do this one. Oops. And these are just a little bit shorter than, sorry, not as wide as the strips, but we can manage with that. That won't be a big deal. All right. And I'm going to leave that middle part open. It doesn't bother me that it's open. And we're going to take now my Blackberry Bliss, and we're going to splatter on there. So I'm going to take the marker end, and we're going to splatter all over. I need to get some more there because I hit very concentrated there. All right. I don't feel like I got a lot in that corner there. All right, now I feel like I've got splatter all over the place. All right. Let's put the blocks back away. They did their purpose. And we'll clean this off after a little bit. So there we have our splatter. And you'll see that most of those pink lines do not have the splatter on them. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some glue down. I probably should have done that while I was splattering, so the glue had time to dry. Oh, look, and I got splatter on my... So we'll just use the other side. All right, so now let's grab my precision tip bottle. Let's put some you gotta be careful because when it comes out, it's going to really come out. Huh. Let's try this again. I'm hoping I don't have to go get my needle, but I might have to. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to use my bigger one. I store it upside down so it never gets like that. Let me try to squeeze it over here. There we go. Because this is a bigger piece, so it doesn't matter. You know what? And I just did it on the side that I wanted to. So we'll have a little splatter on that pink side. This is also giving that ink some time to dry, because we know that the ink can also adversely affect the glue. All right, you know what? Maybe if I wipe that off, we'll be okay. All right. So, this is what happened. I don't think last time I used it that I wiped off the tip and then went like that, so there wouldn't be any glue up in the tab. So when I store it upside down, it's going to be okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get this lined up here. We're going to do the shorter strips so they barely hang over. We want to make sure that they go off the card, even the point. And I'm just eyeballing these, so they may not be completely even. Let me go like this, so I can get it maybe a little straighter. And you can tell that that's a little farther down because there's a lot more edge hanging off. But we're okay with that. All right, let's let that sit for just a second. I don't think I mind that they have some splatter on there. I'm more worried about having glue on this side. So let's go ahead and what stamp set do I want to use? I didn't even think that far ahead. Let me go grab a stamp set over from my other counter. I'm just going to bring them all over because I don't know what I want to use. Let's see. So I want to be able to get a greeting and a flower on there. Maybe I'll use this. Either Simply Beautiful or Springtime Scenes. I think I'm going to use this one. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use that one. Let me put this back over on that counter. We'll put the speckles at the bottom. And I don't have any weddings coming up, so I think I'm going to do Thinking of You for my saying. If it's long enough. Oh my gosh, just long enough. I got lucky there. Got very lucky there. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's pick that up. I am going to do black, even though we have the Blackberry Bliss and the This is Flirty Flamingo. This is Bubble Bath. But I just felt like the Flirty Flamingo didn't show up. I'm sorry, the Bubble Bath didn't show up correctly on the against the background. I might have put that on the block a little crooked, but we'll go with it. Let's get this huge flower. We'll stamp off it. There. Now, if you wanted to, you could use Wink of Stella or something along that lines to actually add some sparkle to that. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Let me put this back here for now. Put this over to the side. So we're going to put this on. Okay, we're going to center it so it goes, intersects all of those lines. You could pop it up if you wanted to. I decided not to. Just because my snips, do I have, oh, they're under here. Let's see. Here's my paper ones, because these get so much closer than the old rubber. Oh, see, that glue wasn't quite dry. Did you see that? So let's go ahead, because this is going to get really close to that edge. Get those little pieces off. You're interfering with how I see the card. There you go. Of course, now I'm going to have adhesive all over my glass mat because I didn't think that far ahead by putting paper down underneath there. All right. Like I said, that glue hasn't quite yet set, but there is our card for today. Now, I do feel like I need something here, only because there's some spots there. So I do have a few antique pearls that are still colored. Just trying to get everything put back into place here, just off to the side. So there we have our finished card. Let me show you the other two we did. This one, I went ahead and cut that 3x4 in half. Used the Gallery Blooms. I just used these. I didn't do anything to those. I just left them on. I thought with this white-ish background it kind of helped. But if you wanted to go ahead and, you know, color that beforehand, you could. And then here I used the strips to make a frame. Then I drug, I think that's Basic Beige. Maybe it's Crumb Cake. I don't know. To make it look like a frame. And then again, I stamped the happy, ripped around it, and I had a strip long enough left that I could put the For You on there. Alright, there you are, guys. There's our cards for this Finish It Friday. If you don't mind, give me that thumbs up, send me a comment, share. Most of all, have a great Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.